What's up, everybody? I'm Dave Miranda, and this is episode 133 of Just Give Me 5. I hope you guys are doing great, continue to be amazing. We got an awesome show lined up for you today. But first things first, I need you to hit that like button, I need you to hit that subscribe, and I need you to spread the word about Just Give Me 5, all right? If you guys caught episode 132, you saw we had none other than UFC vet and Arizona's own, my man Frankie Saenz. And let me tell you, boy, man, you know what I mean? That dude, the Uriah Faber story was absolutely just like incredible to me because Faber was, for one, he was one of my favorite UFC fighters. And, for one of the hometown heroes, man, to go out there and get busy, you know what I mean? And in the card that he was on, right? Because that was the same card that Jose Aldo fought Conor McGregor when Conor McGregor caught Aldo in the first round real quick. So that was like a historical fight alone. And for him to be on that card, man, and just with that crowd and how he was saying how he was just getting starstruck at first, and he's got like the Red Hot Chili Peppers there and, all these celebrities. I mean, that was just awesome, man, and Frankie is definitely that dude. So, it was really, really awesome to have him on the show. And make sure you guys watch episode 132. All right. But today's guest is an absolute hip hop legend and definitely deserves his flowers. We're going to talk about how he became an MC and growing up in Milwaukee, as well as connecting with Master Ace and forming EMC, being a fireman, life after retirement, and so much more. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I present to you Stricklin.
Yo, what up, world? It's your boy Stricklin, all the way from Milwaukee, USA. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm not walking the streets in Milwaukee and smacking dudes up and hollering at they girls, all I'm saying is just give me 5. Let's see. 1985 or 86, there was a concert that came through Milwaukee called the Fresh Fest.
Yeah, man.
And I think the headliners were Run DMC, Fat Boys, all of Houdini. Mm-hmm. And there was an opening act. His name was Chad. He was a 14-year-old kid, rapper. And his song was called The New Kid on the Block. Yeah. I'm the new kid on the block. So all you MCs, you better watch out. And I remember just being in the crowd, and I was just like, I had the Macaulay Culkin like.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was a little older than him at the time. I probably was like 15 or 16. Okay. But just to see somebody on stage opening up for them guys, Houdini and all them cats, I was like, yo, this is the feeling, just the overall feeling I got, the goosebumps I had just watching him go back and forth on stage, being that young. I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Nice.
It's definitely what I want to do.
So then from there on, right, so now it's like you got the inspiration. So like, do you remember, like, when did you start pursuing it now?
So shortly after that, because I was there with my friend Lamont and my friend Lonnie.
Okay.
And we started a rap group called The Fresh Kids. And all our names had fresh in it. I was Kid Fresh. No, yeah, all our names had kid in it. I was Kid Fresh, Lamont was Kid Crab, and Lonnie was Kid Loose. He called himself Kid Crab because you remember in breakdancing there was a thing you could do called a crab walk while you're on the ground. He was so dope with the crab walk. So he was Kid Crab, I was Kid Fresh, and Lonnie was Kid Loose. So Fresh Kids. I don't think we put out a piece of vinyl or a single or nothing.
Yeah.
Lonnie wound up leaving the group, and then it was just me and Crab, and then we changed the name to the Ill Chief Rockers.
Yes, sir.
And I changed my name from Kid Fresh to Stricky Love, and Lamont stayed Kid Crab. So it was Kid Crab and Stricky Love as the Ill Chief Rockers, and then we put out the vinyl, our first 12-inch. That probably had to be 88,
okay,
87, 88. Yeah.
How'd you come up with the name Stricky Love? From Kid Fresh.
Right. So Stricky obviously is because my last name is Stricklin. So everybody called me Strick or Stricky.
Gotcha.
And then the Love just came from, you know, back then there was a couple of rappers, Joski Love.
Yeah.
It was a couple other Loves that I can't think of right now, but I just added the Love because I was just like the cool thing to do. I'm Stricky Love, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yep.
So then when you guys were Ill Chief Rock, so now you guys are rocking like, what was the Milwaukee scene at that time?
The Milwaukee scene was cool. We went to a lot of, we called them basement parties or house parties. So people would actually, like how we kind of rearrange stuff in here to do the interview, people would rearrange their basement and throw actual hip hop events in their basement. It was kind of ill. And this is how I met Todd Peachy Thomas, who is now famous for being Speech from Arrested Development. His name was Peachy initially, and he used to throw house parties in his mom's basement. Wow. And so that was the thing. We go from house party to house party. There was a couple of clubs we could go to, the VFW Post, and that was the hip hop scene back then, just the parties. We would rap on like some of the playgrounds and stuff, but it would mostly be going to these parties and chasing girls and break dancing. I would pop, and my boy Crab was more a break dancer on the floor, but I was more the stand-up pop. You know, we used to do the wave and all that. Yep. So
now, correct me if I'm wrong, but speaking of Speech, he produced on your early stuff, right?
He did produce on that Ill Chief Rockers record. I think he produced. The single had 3 songs on it. And I think he did all 3. He produced all 3 songs on there.
Wow.
Yeah, 3. So we had a song called Jealous, a song called I Gotta Rock, and we had a song called I Want Your Sister. Okay. And where we rapping to this girl like we really like her, but for real, we want your sister. So that song, because of the concept, caught on, and the city was going crazy over that song. But I think he did all 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm mistaken and I'm shortchanging some producer in Milwaukee that should be getting their credit, I am sorry, but I'm not doing it on purpose. I'm just old and I can't remember.
Right. So at that time working with him, did you see it? Did you see did you feel like he was gonna be something?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I knew Speech was a little bit ahead of his time, or Peachy was a little bit ahead of his time, and I knew staying close to him would be beneficial, and it turned out that it was. So he Arrested Development blew maybe like 2-3 years after that, 92 I think they blew. And it was crazy. He moved to Atlanta. I think he went to school down there, a music school, and that's where he met most of the people, or if not all of the people in Arrested Development. So they put their first album out, and they was the hottest rap group in the world for a while. And I could see it. I knew he was gonna do something. Master Ace. All right, so we're at 1998 or 99, and I'm on Tommy Boy at the time. Right. And Tommy Boy's 99, I want to say. Tommy Boy's plan to get me hot in these streets was to put me on several mixtapes that summer. Right. So any mixtape that any DJ was putting together, my A&R at Tommy Boy would somehow finagle his way into getting me to spit a verse on it. Yeah. So I had a lot of verses floating around that summer on several mixtapes. Well, one of my verses wound up on a best of mixtape that was put out by a DJ out of Jersey named AP. What up, AP? He put a best of mixtape out. My verse was on there, and then Ace had a verse on there. Okay. So Ace heard the mixtape once it was done and heard my verse and was like, yo, this kid's kind of nice. So he called AP and was like, yo, who is this kid from Milwaukee? He rhymed over this Redman, Method Man instrumental, blah, blah, blah. AP was like, oh, this is kid from Milwaukee named Strick. Yeah. Actually, Ace didn't know I was from Milwaukee. He said, who's this kid rapping over this beat? AP said, oh, it's a kid from Milwaukee named Stricklin. And Ace was like, Milwaukee, word, get out of here.
Yeah.
So AP wound up giving Ace my email. Ace emailed me. I read the email. Now, at this time, I'm a huge Master Ace fan.
Right.
I read the email. He says what he says. And then at the end, he puts he signs it MA, not Master Ace. Yeah. He says some cool shit too, like, oh, I love your verse was dope. Keep doing your thing. I know your A&R at Tommy Boy. I'm going to put in a good word for you. Holla at me. MA. And he left his phone number. MA. Master Ace? I called AP, was like, yo, did you get Master Ace my email? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I gave it to him 2 weeks ago. I'm like, what? Right. I'm like, you ain't tell me? He emailed me. He's like, yeah, he said he was going to reach out. I said, oh, shit, I printed the email out. I'm running around the hood. Master Ace emailed me. Right. Master Ace, look. Yeah. And so I finally got enough nerve to call him. Because at this time, you have to understand that I've heard this from a lot of people in the industry. Oh, I'm going to hook you up. Oh, I'm going to do this and that, and it never amounted to nothing. So in the back of my mind, I was like, this is just gonna be another. Yeah. But something told me, call Ace. And I called him. He said, I know this guy doing this compilation album. I'm gonna put in a good word for you. Hopefully he'll fly you out and we can work together somehow. I was like, oh man. And I was like, but the same thing's gonna happen. He ain't gonna call him. Yeah. And this guy, his name was JF, wound up calling me like 2-3 days later. We talked. He flew me out to New York. And I did a joint called A Booth. Ace, okay, so this is how the story went. I'm gonna try to tell it real quick. Yeah. So we're in the studio. The guy who was supposed to do the beat for this song, his name was Charlemagne, not Charlemagne the God. Okay. He was a producer at the time that was down with Puffy's little producer group. Okay. So when I get to the studio, he flips out. He doesn't show up. He's like, oh, I got all these demands. Oh, I need chicks in the studio. I need all this money. I need all this weed. Like, he's got all these demands out of nowhere. We like, what? Yeah. So Ace is like, forget that dude. I got my, Ace produces. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
I heard that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he had his drum machine there or something, and he had a show with Kane that night. So he's like, I'm going to do this show with Kane while I'm going to pick out a beat. I'll leave my shit up and running, pick something out, and then when I come back, we'll mess with it. I was like, all right, cool. So he leaves. So in my mind, I'm thinking, I got to impress this guy. Like, I'm not going to wait till he gets back. I'm going to pick out a beat. I'm going to have him lay it. I'm going to write the joint. I'm going to have it done. We're going to have it mixed by the time he gets back. Right, yeah. So I picked out a beat. I wrote the joint. It's called A Booth. I recorded it. He came back. Was like, yo, you just did this just now. I was like, yeah. And he loved it. And at the time, he was doing his album, Disposable Arts. Exactly, yeah. And he's like, yo, I got to get you on the album. Yeah. And I got on the album. I was on Unfriendly Game because Large Professor was supposed to be on that joint. Extra P was supposed to be on that because it's a play off their song called Friendly Game of Baseball. So our joint is called Unfriendly Game. Theirs was about baseball. Ours is about football. Right. So he's waiting on Extra P, and never shows up. He's like, you got something for this? So I wound up writing to that. Wow. And the song I was supposed to be on, which I was, the original joint is called Something's Wrong that Eminem was supposed to be on. But he wound up having his jump through his hoops, not wind up. He wanted to be on it, but he didn't wind up on it. We got Young Z from The Outsiders. Okay. So on that Disposable Arts album, I'm on Something's Wrong with Ace and Young Z, and then Unfriendly Game in the place of Extra P. So that's how it all started.
Crazy verses too, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
You know, so at that point, so now it's like you're a part, you know what I'm saying? You were basically a part of the crew. From then on, you guys are doing shows, you know, you're rocking. When did it come to a point where EMC formed?
Okay, so that's a beautiful segue. So Ace, after I did the 2 joints on Disposable, that same time he heard Punching Words somewhere else. JF actually brought them in on that EP that I did the booth for. Okay. So he heard Punching Words somehow in that whole thing. So they wound up being on Disposable. And then when it was time to tour, to promote Disposable, it was the planes hit the building. George Bush grounded all the planes. Yeah. As soon as he let the planes fly again, we left on the Disposable Arts tour. And Ace was nice enough to invite me, Punching Words, JF was the DJ who had the compilation album. He was the DJ for Punch and Words, and then our man DJ AV went with us also. And we took off 10 days after the planes hit the building. Wow. Crazy. Disposable Arts tour. So that was 2001, and then we toured again 2002, 2003, 2004. A Long Hot Summer comes out.
Yes, sir.
I did FAY song called Fuck All Y'all on there. FAY.
Yep.
I think Punch and Word. I think they were on that album too. And same thing. Yeah. We toured Europe 2004, 2005. Around 2005, 2006, the fans got so used to me, Punch and Words being on the road with Ace and performing with him that they said, y'all should do a group.
Right.
Like the internet was like going crazy, like do a group. Yeah. And so we was like, let's throw. So we all did a joint that didn't make A Long Hot Summer. It didn't make the album. We had recorded it. We thought it was gonna be on the album. It didn't make the album. Ooh. So we're like, let's just throw that joint out and see what happens. See what the fans think. Right. And it wound up on a mixtape. Damn, I can't remember the name of that festival, but we put the joint wound up being on that festival's mixtape, and it just took off. I forgot the name. I think it was called Four Brothers. Yeah. And that's when everybody went crazy. Yeah, do a group. So we decided, all right, the fans want it, we're gonna do it. So we started work on the EMC album in 06, 07. It was supposed to come out, but our engineer Rich, who's like the coolest dude on earth, he lost the whole album. Oh, wow. Yeah, his computer crashed or something. So we had to record all that shit over again, and it took a whole another 9 months to a year, and the album finally came out in 08. Wow. So that was the EMC album. But that's how it happened. Just the fans was like used to us being on the road with Ace so much. They were like, man, y'all should do a group. Y'all should do a group. Yeah. We threw the single out. It wound up getting on that mixtape from that festival in Cincinnati, and put the album out called The Show in 08. It finally came out in 08, but we have been working on it for like 2 years. And it's interesting because at the time I was in Milwaukee, Punch was in Atlanta. I think Words was in Florida by then, maybe not, but maybe he was in New York, but Ace was in Jersey. But we were all spread out. Mm-hmm. So we had to send joints via email. I would record verses at my crib, send it to Punch. He recorded his crib. Ace would send it. We was just in 4 different places, and we did that whole album. Sometimes we'd meet up in New York, but for the most part, we was just recording everything at our crib and sending it to each other.
Nice, man. And I just remember the festival was Scribble Jam.
Scribble Jam, thank you. Yeah,
it was gonna drive me nuts if I didn't remember this. You know what I'm saying?
Scribble Jam mixtape. Yeah. In 05 or 06 is that's where it all started.
That's beautiful.
Yep. One was touring with Arrested Development. We were in New York City. Okay. What year is this is 92, 93. They were.
So you're Ill Chief Rockets?
No. That was over with by then.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay. I was just a solo. I was just Stricklin Love.
Okay. Yeah.
And Speech just pulled me on the road with him for like a couple, like not for a long time. I did like 2 or 3 dates with him or something. Yeah. But we were in New York City, and this is all in the same day. I remember waking up, getting on the tour bus, driving from New York up to the Hamptons to film MTV Beach House with Bill Bellamy. Wow. I don't know if y'all remember that show. Of course. Arrested Development performed. I'm running around all day with these girls, and I remember they had a vending machine that you didn't have to put money in, and it had Snapples in it. So I was just drinking Snapples all day. They had candy, Skittles, and all kinds. It was just like heaven. Yeah, man. So we did that in the afternoon. We drove back from the Hamptons back to New York City to do David Letterman. Arrested Development did David Letterman. So I'm in the audience watching this, and then capped the night off by going to Lenny Kravitz's penthouse to have dinner. So we left David Letterman to go to Lenny Kravitz's crib, like overlooking the city. And he had some little young chick from Australia as his chef, and she made lobster filled ravioli. I'll never forget that. We ate dinner at his crib, and then after dinner, we were like chilling in his living room, and they were playing mute, like Lenny Kravitz would play some shit that he's working on. And then Speech was like, let me play you this that I'm working on. And they just went back and forth and just to sit there and watch these two cats play music and overlooking the city and ate good. So that was all in one day. So that's a fond memory. Number 2 memory is EMC being up at Sirius Satellite. We did Primo's show. And he played 1 hour joints. And then in between, when it was downtime, we was all talking. And he's like, Strick, you from Milwaukee? And I was like, yeah. He was like, damn, man, you be spitting. This is coming from Preem. And I was like, thanks. And I remember leaving out of the room later on and calling my people in Milwaukee like, yo, Preem just said I be spitting. And just being so, like, I don't even got to do nothing else. Like, I don't even care if I rap another day in my life. Like, my favorite producer said I be spitting. So that was another time. And then, let me see, number three. Maybe opening up for Snoop in Germany. Also, just a blanket statement of just all the love that I've gotten over the years from the European, I won't say fans, but people in Europe that appreciate our music. Just the coming from Milwaukee to being in the middle of the Czech Republic or Poland or Berlin, Germany, and kids coming up after the show spitting my whole verse, can't even hardly speak English, and they know my whole verse and asking me to sign a hat. That whole experience is just still mind-blowing to me. I'm humbled and grateful for all of that. Like, I never thought hip-hop would take me to South Africa. You know, I'm in Johannesburg chilling and people know who I am. That's crazy to me. So I'll say that whole blanket statement of that love that I get from around the world is number 3. What's next for me? Music-wise, I really don't know. I always say that my life has been kind of like a gift and a curse, because I'm not one of those artists that just full-fledged, I'm just a rapper, I'm just lived a rap life. I've always had, and this is because of my mom, I've always had like a solid job to fall back on. Like, I've always been the rapper with a job. So why I say that's a gift and a curse is because it's a gift, obviously, because that's the bread and butter. That's something solid, a foundation that I always know I'm gonna be financially straight because I got a job. So what happens is you get lackadaisical and I don't care about this rap shit, you know what I'm saying? I got my job to fall back on. I know I'm gonna get a check every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? That's the gift, having, you know, something there that's solid. The curse is kind of what I just got into. You get lackadaisical. And I really don't care about music until I go on tour, and then I get all the love from the fans. Then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going home and record all these songs. Then I go back to work and it's like, I ain't recording no songs. Or I'll be on tour and these guys after the show will be running out to sell t-shirt, our merch. And I'm just sitting backstage like, I don't care if we sell a t-shirt, I got a job. You know what I'm saying? I got money. Like most of these guys, this is how they hustle. So they out doing that and I'm backstage just messing around on my phone. So, you know, so I'm at the point now where I got a little bit sour. I'm gonna be very transparent. I got a little bit sour in 2015 when EMC put out our album called The Tonight Show, because I thought it was so well put together and the songs were so dope. The album was so cohesive. We had all these dope features. Put the album out. We were signed to Sony. It was like everything was looking like, okay, this is gonna be the one. And it just kind of like, it wasn't presented right. Like there was no push behind it, and it just wound up not hitting the way I felt it should have hit. And so I kind of got a little, I won't say bitter, but I just kind of got sour to the industry. Like, why put music out? Nobody cares. Like, everything is so fast now. You put a song out, they, oh, this is dope. And then 2 days later, what y'all got next coming out? It's like, dude, we just worked So hard to put this classic out, and now y'all on to the next one.
Exactly.
So I just got a little fed up with the music. Like, man, what? I put a song out and nobody cares anyway. Who cares?
Right.
So I've been in that mindset for a while. But I think some music is. I got some stuff in my mind that I need to get off my chest. So I think some music is probably gonna come pretty soon here. If we don't start work on another EMC album, I think the solo album is finally gonna come to fruition, because I got a lot of stuff to say.
You know, and then and just obviously the music is extremely important, but aside from that, on some real talk, I gotta salute you for your occupation, man. You were a fireman.
Yeah. I was
You
a
know what I'm saying?
firefighter.
Like
And,
that's special, man. You know what I mean? Like
the notorious EMT. You know what I'm saying?
I like it.
So yeah, so I'll be in the firehouse, and of course all the guys would be like, tell us about the tour, tell us about the road, and give me some stories. And then when I be on the road with these guys, they'd be like, tell us some firefighter stories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it went back. I did start a book called The Notorious EMT, and it's gonna include my firefighter life and rap life for 20 years, from '01 to 2021.
Okay.
I think that's the time frame we did. And it's gonna tell some stories, and living that rap life and that work life, and try and kind of encompass that whole time, because I retired in 19, so it would encompass Tommy Boy all the way to when I retired. So it might be 99 to 2019. That's what I think it is.
Nice, man.
So yeah.
So we'll be on the lookout for that.
Be on the lookout for that. Yeah, I started it. We had a little break because the guy who's helping me put this all together, he had some stuff going on with his family, had a death in the family. So I think we're going to pick it back up and get it done.
Nice.
Yeah. It makes me feel good inside, man. Like, I had a solid home situation. Both my parents have passed on, but yes, God bless them. They set me up in their death to have a beautiful life. But when they were alive, nothing but love bestowed upon me and the rest of my family. My dad was always there, so that's, you know what I'm saying, not everyone can say that.
Right.
My mom was solid. My outside family, cousins and aunties, I got raised by a couple of my aunties as well. It was like a whole, that whole village takes a village. I had the village for sure.
Yeah, man. That's important. You don't realize.
Yeah. When you got aunties and older cousins that's giving the green light to whoop your ass if you do something wrong, then yeah, that'll keep you in line. So yeah, big up to my family. I had a nice set of friends that's been with me for a long time. Ace included, who's now not even like a friend anymore. He's like more like a brother. We get on the phone, and it's not even too much about music. It's you got a recipe for this, or my gutters is clogged up. Like, can you help me figure out how to get these gutters? Like, it's always something other than music. Then at the end of the phone conversation, oh, we got a beat from such and such. Check this beat out. And he said, I'm about to send it to you. So.
And how amazing is that to say that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Especially since before it even started, he was like, I was a fan of Slaughterhouse and sitting on Chrome and take a look around, and to now, be going to his daughter's, 18th, 16th birthday and going to her daughter's graduation party. You know what I'm saying? I went to Ace's 50th. I went to Ace's wife's 50th. And so, yeah, solid group of friends back home in Milwaukee. And yeah, man, it feels good to just, and you know what else feels good? To be able to come to places like Phoenix. We were in LA the other day. We can go to Berlin, we can go to Oslo, Norway, and then I can come home and just be me, like just be normal.
Right.
And just walk down the street or go to the mall, and certain people be like, Strick, what's up? But it's not like I'm being bombarded by the industry. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, my friend that I have now, she always says, you got a separate person, a dual personality. Like, when you go on stage, you somebody different, blah, blah, blah. So I do feel like that sometimes. So I can go be strict overseas or in Phoenix for a night and then go home and just be Steve. I can just be regular, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, that makes me feel good, bro. I also want to say, my career kind of came full circle. Recently, we got a single coming out on Marco and Ace's new album that features obviously Ace, Master Ace, but it also features speech from Arrested Development. So
Nice, man.
it's like everything has come full circle. The song is called Life Music. And I didn't really get into this in the interview, but last year I had a very traumatic injury to my left foot, man, to where I was on tour, where I had to fly home. I had 6 surgeries on my foot. And so I had written a verse for this song called Life Music. We had recorded it and everything. And while I was in the hospital, Ace called me and was like, yo, you might want to, after everything that's happened to to your foot, you might want to change your verse up and kind of talk about it, being that the song's called Life Music. So it was weird because Ace never asked me to change a verse.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, am I whack now? Like, you don't like
Right.
But it wound up being the best thing I probably ever did, because now the song has a very special meaning to me, and hopefully when the people hear it, fine. We just shot the video for it 2 weeks ago in New York. Yeah, so hopefully when people hear that, they can relate and understand what I was going through. So that was a last summer. One of my lines is say, throw the whole summer away, 2022. So 2022 summer was bad, but we back now, bigger and better. So
And look at you now, man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You're stronger than ever.
Yep. So, all right, y'all. I had a beautiful time sitting here walking y'all through my whole career. Yeah, man, I gave it all. I'm giving it my all, and I hope you guys enjoyed the interview, and peace, y'all.
And there you have it. Shout out to my man Stricklin, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Chuck brought Marco and Ace over to Trill to rock, and you know, I was like, you know, I hope Strick's with him. Pulled up, sure enough, he's right there. Had my man Daryl D, they got history out in Milwaukee. We all kicked it, we all lined up, made the show happen, and it was just an absolute honor, my brother, you know what I'm saying? And I wish you nothing but the best and everything throughout your journey, everything that you got going on. If you drop some new music, please, you know what I'm saying, do that for the fans, for the people who support, man, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's all love over here, man. So thank you so much, man, and I wish you the best and nothing less. Make sure you guys are following him on social media. And shout out to my brother Jimmy Nelson on the camera. Make sure you guys subscribe to that YouTube channel. Tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. Well, this was definitely one for the books. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, though. Until next time, stay tuned. Stay blessed. Stay healthy. Just give me 5, y'all.
Everything you